Now it's time to introduce our special guest for the Compas Fantasy Football Palooza. One is a TikTok star who was recently banned from the platform, and the other suffered through 2 decades of Raiders football. NFL Mike and Joe Morley, welcome. Can we start with NFL Mike and tell us why you got kicked off of TikTok?
I got kicked off of TikTok for being a Chargers fan. Apparently, Chargers fans who don't exist trigger the whole world. But I'll take being a Chargers fan and getting banned from TikTok over being a Raiders fan my whole life any day. This is why.
Joe, how are you doing?
Yeah, whatever, Mike.
How you doing, Joe?
I'm doing good. I appreciate you guys bringing us on, but here to represent Raider Nation and talk fantasy football. And hey, I haven't got banned from TikTok.
And you go at Cowboy fans a lot.
Oh, Cowboy fans, Niner fans, AFC West, that's not Raider fans, I'm coming at you.
Well, I'm clipping this up, and your day is coming, I will tell you.
Well, now I need to know, Joe, what are you doing right on TikTok that NFL Mike is not doing? And also, do you have a last name, Mike? I feel weird calling you NFL Mike. I know everybody calls you that. Do you have a last name? You got to promote your real name out here. What do you prefer, NFL Mike?
Yeah, my name is Shawn Michaels.
Oh, that's right.
I just go by Mike. So yeah, you can call me Shawn, Mike, Michaels, whatever you want to call me. So the Mike actually is a part of my last name.
Okay, NFL Mike is okay.
Yeah, anything works. Mike works.
Hashtag free NFL Mike.
Yeah.
And I think you're gonna be coming back soon, right, Mike? Is that the word?
TikTok told me tomorrow, but I can't log in still. That's the worst part. Like I sent an email back, like at least let me log in, please, so I can see my account again. But it's not taken down. Like when people get banned, usually like goes gray and you're done. They take you down. So my page is still there. It was almost like they gave me the notification that I got a permanent ban, and then once I reached out to them, they changed it to like a temporary.
It's not like you're promoting your OnlyFans account or anything like that.
Well, I try to keep the OnlyFans promotions down, but sometimes I have to, It's fun to grow.
Well, it would be tough if your OnlyFans is doing better than your TikTok, because you have like 200,000 followers, man. So I don't know how you beat that bar there. But Joe, before we ask you about fantasy football, you guys are a go-to expert. And by the way, thank you guys for all the support for Compas on the Beat the last couple of years. You guys are awesome. I love collabing with you guys, so that's what we have you guys on for this fantasy football. But just to have a little more fun before we ask you about that. And sorry about this, NFL Mike, but Joe, how sweet was it for you to see your Raiders in the playoffs and then knock out the Chargers a week before that? Can you kind of take us back to that week or those couple of weeks for you?
Oh, it's been great. I mean, to see him do it and to do it over the Chargers, because I don't know if you guys know, and you guys probably saw it, Mike made a sweater after week 4 in Los Angeles after the Raiders lost. He made a sweater, everything, talking about how the Chargers are better than the Raiders, and it just even up being better for Daniel Carlson, Mike's daddy, to come in there, kick it, and win the game. There's the sweater right there. Because I throw an ugly Christmas sweater party every year, and Mike made that and won it and brought it to the house and did all that. And he thought week 4 was a championship for the Chargers, and I thought many people did. And the Raiders just had to show the Chargers that after all these years, no matter who you have at quarterback, who you have playing, even if Derwin James is healthy for the whole season, that the Raiders come and knock you out. And then go into the playoffs and get cheated by the referees and the Bengals. Everybody knows that.
Oh, Joe.
They blew the whistle. They blew the whistle, okay?
Oh, Joe. Well, talking about the AFC teams, here at Compas, we cover the Chargers and the Rams. Can you guys give us some players from each team that people should be targeting in their drafts? NFL Mike, can you pick one? We'll have NFL Mike pick the Rams, and we'll go Joe Morley, the Chargers.
Ooh.
Yeah, for the Rams, the biggest guy obviously is Cooper Kupp, and he's one of those guys where if you can get him at the end of the first round, it's worth paying for that gap and drafting a receiver in the first round. If it's at the end and you can turn around and get another running back, that's key. If you can't, I wouldn't reach on him super early because the running back position is super thin. So if you can't get Cooper Kupp in the first round and you still want to get in on that Rams offense, which is going to be high flying like it is all year, go after one of Tony Tucker's boys and a guy I've been preaching and stealing his words, Allen Robinson. I think Allen Robinson's going to have a bounce back year. Every time a receiver with Allen Robinson's talent and caliber pairs up with Matthew Stafford, no matter who it is, even as low as Marvin Jones up, they have a big year with him. So Allen Robinson isn't going to win leagues or anything like that, but he's going to be a serviceable guy that you can bring into your lineup for certain matchups when the Rams are playing bad secondaries or they're playing good secondaries in a way where they're going to double up Cooper Kupp and leave Allen Robinson in one-on-one coverage. So I'll say one guy on the Rams, Cooper Kupp, you can get him at the perfect time in the first round. But if not, and you still want to get in on that Rams offense, you should. I would be going after Allen Robinson. The running game is just too committee-based for me. I don't really touch the running backs too much.
This is Christmas has come early. So Joe, Chargers, who do you think?
Well, the good thing about fantasy football is your team doesn't need to win, or the Chargers don't need to win to help your team. They just need to put points on the board and stats. And the Chargers, I mean, for fantasy football wise, is stacked, right? You got Justin Herbert, who's going as one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks in fantasy football this year. You have Austin Eckler, who's going as a top 5 pick somewhere in there, depending on if you want him, and that's the kind of guy you want. But he's going at least top 5 in fantasy football drafts right now, and he probably loves it because Austin Eckler is a big fantasy football guy. Then you have the wide receivers, where Mike and Tony have been giving me a hard time because we do mock draft Mondays every Monday, and I always stack Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen. And, of course, if you know fantasy football, if you play PPR, which is points per reception, Keenan Allen has led the league or close to the league and always getting receptions. So if you can stack your quarterback and get Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen, you're going to come up with double points. So you got those two. And I would stay away from the defense as of right now because they still ranked 25th last year, and you got to see if all these improvements stay healthy and can get you there. But I don't know. And then their run game or their special teams didn't look good, so I would stay away from their defense. But offense wise, go after their offense.
Wow, it was funny seeing NFL Mike's reactions to that analysis there, Joe. And I thought it was good analysis. You don't want to have too much homerism there. Sorry, NFL Mike. But yeah, I'm worried about the defense too. But obviously, a lot of great talent on offense. But NFL Mike and Joe, the real reason why we have you on is that me and Fernando in our own league, we were in the bottom, and I guess I would say I was last in mine. I got the sack on mine. And I had the number 1 pick too. I drafted Dalvin Cook. I avoided Christian McCaffrey's injury, but Dalvin was kind of okay for me. Still got last, so we need your help.
Tell them what happened to me.
Oh yeah, Fernando, did you actually?
I was in the playoffs.
You actually made the playoffs.
And obviously, it was the back end of the season, so Gilbert and I were working hard on everything we were doing with the Chargers and everything. And I completely forgot that Lamar Jackson was that he wasn't playing; he was hurt. So I didn't replace him with somebody else, and I lost by 2 points.
And
without a quarterback.
That shows that Fernando is great at fantasy football. He somehow made it to the playoffs without caring for his team, and I did not. So that said something about me too. But I guess kind of I know. But I guess we'll start with NFL Mike for this 2-parter, and then Joe. But the first part is, do you care where you pick in the order? Does that matter? Do you have a strategy regardless? Are you okay if it's like from first, last to the middle? And then the second part of the question for you two guys is there one player that you're going to just avoid at all costs because maybe you got burned the year before? So hopefully you guys remember those 2 questions there. But NFL Mike, go ahead.
Elliott. Yeah, so I don't mind drafting anywhere in the draft just because I kind of have a plan for both, but the plans are very different from drafting at the front and the back of the draft. Like I already have one draft order for one of my leagues selected, and I actually got 1 overall. I won the championship in that league last year, and they gave me 1 overall this year. Go ahead if you guys want to do it. But that'll change my QB strategy because what I like to do is I like to get those QBs late so that way I can stack up value before I get a quarterback. But when you're at that part of the draft, it gets a little bit harder to do that. So I'll even wait longer on a quarterback if I'm at the front of the draft versus at the end of the round where I can get like a Jalen Hurts, a Kyler Murray, or someone like that in the middle rounds of the draft. And then as far as like my strategy goes, I'm trying to still get those 2 running backs no matter where I am in the draft. So I'm still trying to get, if I'm at the top of the draft, I'm trying to get like Jonathan Taylor and then Saquon Barkley. If I'm at the back of the draft, at the back of the first round, I'm trying to get like Joe Mixon, Nick Chubb, or Joe Mixon and Alvin Kamara or something like that. So the first couple rounds don't change that much. It really just changes up like the placement of when I'm going to get quarterbacks and stuff like that. And then as far as players I'm avoiding, The player that I'm avoiding more than anyone this year is Antonio Gibson, but that is an obvious answer because he's being benched right now, it feels like, in training camp. And I avoid Christian McCaffrey. I can't do it. Even though I just acquired Christian McCaffrey in a dynasty league, but that's more of like my team's falling apart, so I'm putting one more Hail Mary team together before I have to rebuild it. But everywhere else, I don't draft Christian McCaffrey as early as he goes. It's all injuries. I'm scared.
Yeah, and for me, I don't care where I draft. Like, I prefer not to have the number 1 overall pick because that puts a lot of pressure on you, and you have to make that hit. But I'd rather prefer like the 10-man, 12-man. I like to stay the number 5, number 6, number 7, somewhere in the middle because you know how the draft goes. It's a snake round, so if it comes back around, you're not waiting for your pick as much, and I feel that you get better players. Like if you stay at number 12, yeah, you get 2 good players, but you're waiting another 20 picks for your next pick. So I'd rather stay somewhere in the middle if I can. This year I have number 5 in my home league, so I'm happy about that one. And players to avoid. Are we talking about this year or overall? Because overall, I've missed out on somebody like Joe Mixon. Like I don't like Joe Mixon. It's just personal thing against me where he's always burned me in the past, and then last year I stayed away from him and he did good. Austin Eckler I stay away from. Like smaller running backs I've stayed away from. Like Dalvin Cook was one guy I stayed away from last year, and you said he burned you. Just because if they have like a little past of history, it kind of sticks in my head, or injury history, it sticks in my head. But this year, for sure, I'm on the fade the Cardinals. Fade the Cardinals. I told everybody last year in fantasy football, I faded the Saints before the start of the season. Everybody's like, why the Saints? They're going to be good, and they're going to have all these players. And I said, no, I'm fading the Saints. This year, I'm fading the Cardinals. I'm fading Kyle Murray. I'm fading everybody that has to do with that red sea down there in Arizona.
That's actually one of the teams that I've kind of been like, I don't know how good they're gonna be. So especially because DeAndre Hopkins is out for the first 6 weeks of the season, and then Hollywood Brown isn't really a fan. Like you think Hollywood Brown would be a fantasy juggernaut, but he really isn't. He'll give you 1 or 2 good games during the season. But since you guys are obviously talking about players to avoid, who are 4 players people should target in the middle or to later rounds in the draft?
In the middle to later rounds, I mean, there's a lot of directions that I could go with it. Some of my favorite guys this year, I'm a big fan of Ramondre Stevenson's game, and I think Bill Belichick's coming around on that. I've been keeping in tune with the Patriots training camp, and Ramondre, I guess, is impressing as a pass blocker, which is something that he struggled with in previous years. That's held him out of playing time with Dame Harris still there. Even later in the drafts, watch out for Steelers wide receiver George Pickens, hot commodity. Right now, he's been going off the shelf and been moving up. His ADP's been moving up a ton. He's a guy that they're looking at and saying maybe he takes over in Pittsburgh this year and has a breakout season. And Deontay Johnson's kind of left out in the cold. Another guy that I like a ton that's in the super late rounds, like a deep sleeper, is KJ Hamler, because I can see the resemblances to Tyler Lockett there for Russell Wilson. Maybe Russell Wilson falls in love with KJ Hamler. I was already like pick up KJ Hamler after your draft if you have some throwaway roster spots. But now with Tim Patrick out, it's like KJ Hamler is going to play the slot, and he's probably going to play a lot for Denver this year. So he might be someone worth a draft pick late in drafts. And I always go after these high-value handcuffs. My favorite one this season is Rachaad White, who's on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers behind Leonard Fournette right now. Leonard Fournette deals with injuries. Leonard Fournette came into camp out of shape. The Buccaneers need some youth in that offense. It's a bunch of veterans at this point. Julio Jones, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Tom Brady, obviously at quarterback. Yeah, the O-line is banged up, but this guy's a big body. He has a similar run style to Leonard Fournette, so I can see him getting some action, especially if something happens to Leonard Fournette. Those are kind of my late round targets. There's a bunch of other guys. I mean, Brian Robinson is trending right now, so watch out for Brian Robinson Jr. too. He's the guy that I've been drafting as much as I can. Dameon Pierce, he's probably going to start in Houston.
Joe?
Take everybody, Mike. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Well, this is where I get to be a little bit of bias right here, and this is where I'll say like the people that aren't getting love, it would be Derek Carr, and but he'll go late round. You can get him if you wait on your quarterbacks. Take somebody like Derek Carr, who's going to put up the numbers. Hunter Renfro's going like 6th or 7th round for some reason. You can get him.
Well, hell, give me Devontae Adams too.
Well, Devontae Adams, he'll be gone by first round. But those are my 2 like mid round guys if I want to be biased. But if you want to go off of that, you James Cook is one of the guys I've been targeting in every fantasy draft right now because I think Buffalo finally went out and got their running back, somebody that can catch out of the backfield. So James Cook going to take the league by storm. Who is it? Gabe Davis, another guy from Buffalo, should be good.
He had 4 touchdowns against Kansas City last year, right, in the playoff game?
The running back who Gabe Davis?
Gabe Davis had like 4 touchdowns against Kansas City.
And this weekend he caught Josh Allen's first touchdown pass of the preseason
against Denver.
5 straight on Josh Allen right now.
You have I like Robert Woods coming back from the injury in Tennessee. What's up,
Fernando just froze, and it's the best picture ever.
that is like I'm looking at him like, damn, did I say something wrong? And I'm like, all right.
Screenshot.
He's like going to a different dimension.
I was like, I said something that bad that Fernando had to freeze.
You guys got
I froze. My bad.
You gotta leave that on, Fernando. That was awesome. But go ahead.
I'll give some love to the Chargers again, and I'll say Gerald Everett. We've been waiting for Justin Herbert and a tight end to connect. We knew it wasn't going to happen with Jared Cook, but maybe we can do it with Everett. And then of course one of the rookies I like is Jahan Dotson from the Washington Commanders. Ooh, I had to say that. I had to change. I had to slow down to say Washington Commanders because I'm not used to saying it.
Ready to take command, Joe. I like that you got that right. And I don't want to get too sidetracked, but I just thought about a video that I probably thought that you guys maybe kind of were able to relate to and harmonize to. Did you see that video of Derwin James giving Hunter Renfrow a shout out? Like 2 guys, good at their position, giving respect. I'm sure you guys felt like that was a partnership that you guys have.
Yeah, I mean, Hunter Renfrow's earning respect for his route running around the league, man. It's people are watching him on tape right now after his breakout year last year, and they're actually looking at his game, and especially Derwin. Derwin's got to play him twice a year, so he's watching him closely. So if Derwin goes out and says and praises Hunter Renfrow, I believe that. And that's a real thing that's probably going around the league right now.
Joe, did Ryan Clark make the list, the Joe Morley haters list, because of the way he talked about your wide receiver?
Ryan Clark bounces around so much anyways. I was thinking about it too. Like, and then he went to the Raiders facility and he's all praising Devontae Adams right in front of everybody. It's like, he's just playing the game. He's doing good, but Hunter Renfrow has a lot going for him. He don't look like a wide receiver. I don't know how much hair he has left on his head, but man, he's putting it to these guys out there.
Yeah, he's doing well for him. So I'm kind of surprised, but he is one of the best in the game at wide receiver. We don't have to talk about where in the rankings. It's for another day, but we got to move this along. And no pun intended here, but we got to talk about sleepers. And I think, Joe, you're just waking up too. So, but I know we were middle tier guys, so sleepers are kind of the same. So maybe just somebody that people are not really on the radar. Like, yeah, we know about what George Pickens is doing in the preseason. We know about Gabe Davis's big playoff game, but who's a sleeper that you guys like, okay, we're gonna get that guy? But I don't want you to give away your strategy, but I'm sorry, you got to do it for the show. One name, the NFL might go ahead, and then Joe.
I gotta pick one name, the sleeper of the year.
Yeah.
You know what, I'm gonna be a little bit different here. I think that the guy who has the best chance to go after like round 7 or 8 and finish top 5 at his position, almost lock it in, is Zach Ertz, which we were just talking about fade the Cardinals. But I think that with D-Hop out, it's going to help feed Zach Ertz the ball more. And then when D-Hop comes back, Zach Ertz is still going to be the security blanket for the Arizona Cardinals. I'm not too high on the Cardinals offense either. I'll draft D-Hop if I feel good about my receiver position. But I think that Zach Ertz is like a lock to finish top 7, top 5 at his position. And he's going at tight end 15. So that's a steal right there. That's a sleeper. Joe?
Man, I hate to do it for a sleeper, but I'm going to go with the sleeper because it's somebody that I've been kind of slowly following and looking at, and that's tight end Irv Smith of the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh,
I don't know. I'm like you said, like you got burned by Dalvin Cook this year. I'm letting everybody know Dalvin Cook is my first round pick if I get a chance this year. I like the Vikings offense. I think they're going to explode with that new coordinator up there, or offensive head coach up there, and the Rams system that they brought in. Everything that you hear about what Justin Jefferson's talking about that offense. If I like Gerald Everett I like tight ends because that's the smallest position that you can have. We only have like 3 or 4 dominant tight ends. And so every year somebody's looking for a tight end. And if you don't get the Waller or the Kittle or the Andrews, then you're sitting there waiting all year. Like, okay, who are we going to pick? We're picking and choosing. So I always like tight ends. So those are Everett falls into the sleeper because they're both going late rounds. Like, you're not getting them till 13th or later in draft. So
good job, Joe. You hit your Raiders bingo. You've talked Devontae Adams. You've talked Derek Carr, Hunter Renfrow.
They're all in there.
You got one of these, you could talk.
Josh Jacobs next.
I'm waiting for. That's who I thought his sleeper was going to be, Josh Jacobs. But I mean, Josh Jacobs played in the Hall of Fame game, so I don't know how good he's going to be for the Raiders. But obviously, we're having our fantasy draft Labor Day. Can you guys give us some draft day mistakes to avoid?
Don't draft a quarterback in the first 3 rounds unless it's Josh Allen in like the end of the 3rd round or something. Just drafting a quarterback that early, when you look at that position, there's 32 starters, right? And you're looking for a guy that's going to finish top 15. But if you get 2 guys that are on the edge of that, you can kind of alternate them within the matchup. Just the chances of landing a guy late in the draft is way higher than the chances of landing a running back late in the draft. The running back position is super thin this year. It's gotten more and more thin with every year that this league has gone towards passing and gone towards running back committees. And this year, after round 3, I don't think there are any workhorse running backs that you can grab and really feel confident in. So you got to get them in the first 3 rounds. You got to get as many as you can. I'm going running back first 3 rounds if I can, honestly. Wow. So I would say don't draft quarterback early. And that would be my biggest mistake that people make. They'll be drafting Josh Allen and Justin Herbert in the 2nd round. And it's like you could have had, Aaron Jones or something.
They could have Derek Carr too.
Yeah, you could have Derek Carr late. Derek Carr's a good late pickup this year. Not me. I ain't drafting him nowhere. But he's a good late pickup.
Don't be afraid. Okay, like Mike said, always wait on quarterback. That's a mistake that everybody makes, especially new people, is you'll see them take a quarterback early. Wait for your quarterback because there's not a big difference between the top guys and, like we said, the Kirk Cousins and everybody else down here at the bottom. Wait on those. Wait on your kickers. Your last round should be your kicker and your defense. Just wait. I know you want to go, I want these guys. Wait for kickers and defense because you're going to be switching them out throughout the whole season anyways. And just because you think this was the top defense last year, they never repeat as a top defense again. So just wait on your defense and kickers until those should be your last 2 picks automatically, no matter how your draft board's going. Just wait on those. And then this year for sure, don't be afraid to take Saquon Barkley or Ezekiel Elliott. I'm going to tell you right now, those 2 guys are falling. And I just did a mock draft the other day where I had like I had the middle pick, and I was able to get Saquon in the 2nd and Zeke in the 3rd. And I was like, I'll take both of these guys, even if they drop a little bit, even if they drop down a little bit in talent. I'll take both of them because they've been number 1 picks, their 1st round picks for a long time. And don't forget that you always you want to start out your draft with taking potential or with talent that's already established, right? You want to take those established guys 1, 2, 3, 4, and then in the mid rounds is where you can start taking the potential in some of these rookies or younger players that you think are going to break out, like the Trey Lances and stuff, and Brandon Ayuk and stuff like that from San Francisco. So you want to take your established players first and then go after the potential.
And I'll say this also, one more thing to throw on top of it. Don't be afraid to draft with trades in mind. Everyone's always looking for their perfect guy, but I'll be sitting there like Ezekiel Elliott and Saquon Barkley this year. Those guys are hype train machines. If they have one good game, their trade value skyrockets through the roof. So if there's no one you like there and those guys are on the board, draft them and think, okay, maybe after week 3, I can send these guys out for a guy like better or like an elite wide receiver or something. And also as the draft gets later, have an idea of everyone's handcuffs in the league. I immediately, when I see the 1st round go by, I go, all right, I'm trying to grab all these guys' handcuffs because come middle of the season, when Dalvin Cook goes down, I got Alexander Madison. So come and talk. We'll trade.
So we appreciate all you guys have done, giving us all this info. Before we let you go, though, we got to play a quick game of start, sit, and cut. Wings, pizza, and nachos. Joe Morley, you start it.
Wings, pizza. Are you talking about like not like loaded nachos? Like
yeah.
Sure, why not? Just for you.
Because if they're just like nachos with just
No,
cheese, like,
loaded nachos.
Oh yeah. I'm a big nacho guy. Like I go to Dodger Stadium, the best stadium in Southern California.
Oh,
and
that rundown stadium out in
Yeah.
Dodgers play there though. The
Either
Dodgers
way, I'm gonna start with pizza because you can probably never go wrong with pizza, right? So everybody's gonna start pizza, and then I'll sit nachos and I'll cut some wings out.
Oh wow,
I
Mike.
like if it's not, I get made fun of because I like the boneless. I can't the bones. I don't know.
So you like chicken tenders?
Yeah,
like chicken nuggies.
I can't do the bone thing. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I'm the complete opposite. My favorite food, if I was like, I got to pick one food to eat the rest of my life, is chicken wings. I had chicken wings for dinner last night. They're actually hurting my stomach right now, mixed up with not Starbucks coffee. My wife makes the coffee and puts it in the cup to make me feel like I'm drinking Starbucks coffee. But yeah, so I'm starting chicken wings, benching pizza, and cutting nachos. Sorry,
Whoa, benching pizza, man. I did not see that one.
Wow.
Yeah, pizza's in second place there.
That's
Pizza's
a bold move. Guys, please let everybody know where they can follow you guys, where your guys' show is on, everything. Let the good folks know where they can find you guys.
Yeah, just in case Wingstop is watching this, I'm looking for a brand deal. You can find me at NFL Mike on TikTok. That's my primary thing. But where we need y'all to go and where we are pushing content out like maniacs right now as the season gets ready to start again is the MJT Football YouTube channel. It's Mike, it's Joe, and another Chargers fan named Tony Tucker. We go at it every single day on that channel, talking football. We get into arguments. We get into agreements. We talk to live chat a lot. But yeah, if you guys go and subscribe there to that YouTube channel, that would be appreciated most.
Yeah.
Joe, you guys going to be there week 1?
I think Joe's going to be there. I don't think I will be there.
Oh, you know what? I haven't said this on the air, guys. I have never said this on the air. So if you guys want to make fun of me right now, I am a Raider fan, but I do have Charger season tickets. Just like
yeah. That's like a common thing in the Cowboys and Raiders fan base to buy Charger season tickets.
So I'll be there week 1 because
see, you at least get that one Raider game, so that's the benefit to it.
And that's the main reason that drove me to buying the Charger season tickets is I spent so much on the Raider game last year. I was like, I might as well buy all season and make my money back.
So did you go to the draft party with Snoop Dogg and everybody? Like, did you attend their event?
No, I give those away.
Joe, let people know where they can find you on Twitter.
Yeah.
And on TikTok.
Well, I just changed my Twitter handle.
I didn't ask you that. I said, where can they find you?
Jesus.
At Joe Morley, at Joe Morley Sports or whatever I think on TikTok and Instagram, and then my Twitter is I just changed it to Silver and Black Allegiance. So if you guys want to come on over.
Oh God!
Aren't you kind of rooting for the blue and yellow allegiance to succeed with those season tickets? The price will go up the more and more the Chargers win.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what. Well, I'm hoping that week 17, it's the Chargers and Rams, or week 18.
Yeah,
that's where I'm hoping to make my money. So you guys, shoot it! Come on, win your fantasy leagues, spend your money on my tickets.
So you're plugging your show and you're plugging your.
Hey, I'm hoping you win leagues just so I can take your money back.
Oh my God! Well, NFL Mike, Joe Morley, thank you guys so much for joining the Compas. And again, like Gilbert said, we are so appreciative. You guys were two of the main guys that started jumping on with the Compas from the beginning. We appreciate you guys so much, and it was definitely great to have you, NFL Mike, and we were able to stand having you on, Joe. So we appreciate you guys.
Same to you guys, man. The feelings are mutual. You guys have always supported us as well. Don't forget that. We appreciate it, man. That's how we met, is through supporting each other. So
yep. Anything else, Joe, before you go?
I would yell Raiders right now, but I normally get cut off, but I won't do it.
You can do it.
All right, don't cut me off.
I'm not.
Raiders!